If you want to learn how to play the cross chord from your late forehand, this is the video you should watch. So the cross chord from the late forehand, I'm gonna take you through two situations depending on how much pressure you are. The first one is where you're under neutral pressure, and the other one is where you're under maximum pressure. The technique behind them are personally a bit different, so I'm gonna take you through the nuances in that. So the first situation is where I am in a neutral position and want to play the cross chord shot from my late forehand. And when I say I'm in a neutral position, that means I'm not in super pressure, but it's not because I could do the China jump towards the corner instead and reach it earlier. So just like in between being super late or having time to get into an offensive position. That's what I mean by a neutral position. So the neutral position, as we see here, I am approximately able to reach the shuttle within my shoulder height, I would say. My grip is a forehand grip, but actually I twist it a little bit, if I'm a right-hander, towards my right side. So where I would meet this shuttle is outside my body. Of course, I want to reach it with a stretch arm, and I want to reach it in the same position as always. I remember some of our other videos that I'm linking to here in the description where we were talking about the technique for the late forehand and backhands. Morten and I, we always talk about reaching it in shoulder height, because if we do that, we know our movement will be the same every time. So if I reach the shuttle high or low, then I'm not consistent in my movement. Whereas if I'm able to meet the shuttle every time approximately here at my shoulder height, I know that my movement at least is gonna be the exact same, and then chances are the shot are gonna be even better. So how I would play the shuttle, it's super simple. I just do a full rotation and drag my body along. To me, I don't think this is the most difficult shot to play. Of course, you still need a relaxed grip, so you're able to open up here, and then at the very last, you close the grip, hit the shuttle, and basically you just move your arm towards the corner. And you know what? That also makes that your body moves inside the court again, so we're not hanging out there in the late forehand. So if we move our full body, you can see my body automatically twists and I get towards the corner where I play the shuttle. If I have to talk about footwork in this neutral shot, I would say I almost play the shot right when I land on my lunge with my right foot, because I'm a right-hander. So that's where I want to play the shot. I don't want to play the shot and then land. I don't want to land and then play the shot. I want to do it almost simultaneously. So I play the shuttle and land, and then again, when I do the full rotation with my arm, I'm always away and I can push away with my right foot, getting into the court again. So that's, I would say, super important in your footwork. Land at the same time as you hit the shuttle, more or less. So I would say the main difference when playing this late forehand in a somewhat neutral position is where you hit the shuttle, depending if you, let's say I wanted to play it straight or if I wanted to play it cross. If I want to play the cross chord, as we're focusing on right here, my contact point with the shuttle is slightly, I would say, slightly in front of me. Whereas if I want to play the straight one, I play the shuttle like 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters behind me. So if I play the shuttle, if I try and imagine here for you in the camera, if I want to play the straight one, I hit the shuttle here. If I want to play the cross one, I hit the shuttle here. So it's like 20, 30, 40 centimeters somewhat in that area. That's the small difference between being able to play the straight or the cross one. So the second cross chord late forehand is when I'm under a lot of pressure. And as I mentioned in the beginning, the technique for me is a bit different. Some are maybe able to do still the exact same technique. For me, I do it a bit differently. I'm gonna talk you through how I'm doing that. So the grip, I'm actually having the same grip. So I have my forehand grip twisting the racket slightly to the right side. So the grip on the late one with a lot of pressure or the neutral one is the same. The main difference for me is I of course do my big lunge, right? And remember that your right foot are pointing towards the corner that I'm moving to. I don't want to have my foot twisting inside the court because that's putting a lot of pressure in my knee. So when I land, my right foot is pointing towards my forehand corner. So perhaps when I'm under a lot of pressure, I'm not able to meet the shuttle at my shoulder height, which I normally would prefer. Because I'm under a lot of pressure, I meet the shuttle below my shoulder. What I would do here is I use my wrist and my forearm a bit more to hit the shuttle. So in the neutral position, I'm more doing a full movement, full rotation with my arm. Whereas when I'm very much under pressure, I hit the shuttle a bit more. So I'm playing it towards the cross-court corner instead of doing the full movement. I'm not saying it's not possible to do the full movement from a late position. That's just how I prefer it. Badminton isn't black and white, as I've mentioned a few times. So do what you feel are the most comfortable for you. Maybe it's doing the same in both shots. Maybe it's, I would say, playing the shot a bit more. I can't tell. You have to go to the court, practice and see what works for you. I'm doing it two different ways. That works for me. So that's why what I'm trying to teach you, or at least giving you some nuances of the main differences here. So even though I'm hitting it in the very late forehand with a lot of pressure, I would say try again once you land to push away immediately. That's probably where you see the main difference of players in a higher level compared to beginners. When they have to go out there in the late corners, they're not able to get back into the court. So I want you to focus on that. Of course, it's just not focusing on that, it requires a bit of strength in your legs as well. So maybe you need to practice a few lunges in the gym, but that's for the better, right? So to wrap this video up, we have gone through two late forehand cross-court positions, one being more neutral, one being very late. I have shown you two different techniques. The one in neutral, you just do a rotation with your arm, whereas the late one, you play it more with your wrist, with your forehand towards the cross-court corner. Do what works for you. Maybe you can find another way. I'd be happy to hear. If you do, leave a comment. I'm more than happy to hear what your preferred technique is.